Standing amidst the blue waves of the Atlantic Ocean, just a short distance from the shoreline on a massive rocky outcrop spanning approximately 1 kilometer, stands a magnificent structure reaching toward the heavens. Rising to a height of about 160 meters, this building is clearly visible to travelers from a great distance, unveiling a truly spectacular sight. Appearing as if it is floating directly upon the seawater, this construction serves as a living testament to European artistic craftsmanship and the engineering ingenuity of the Middle Ages. Having withstood the forceful impact of the Atlantic's surging waves for centuries, historians cite this building as one of the most extraordinary and sacred structures in all of Europe. Its splendor does not lie solely in its height or its unique position in the middle of the sea. Rather, every atom of that stone fortress holds within it a grand history, numerous struggles, and even more divine legends. The story behind this structure is profoundly fascinating, representing a long journey between human resolve and divine inspiration. The legendary tale behind this marvelous building is revealed to us through manuscripts dating back to the 10th century. According to those accounts, in the year 708 AD, a bishop named Aubert of Avranches had a strange dream one night. In that dream, the Archangel Michael appeared in person and commanded him to build a sacred shrine on that rocky mountain situated in the middle of the sea. Initially, Bishop Aubert ignored the vision, thinking it was merely a figment of his imagination. But after the same dream occurred 3 consecutive times, he realized it was a divine mandate and commenced the work. As this story spread across Europe, that remote rocky hill gradually transformed into a prominent pilgrimage site for all Europeans. During the Middle Ages, this Michaelite structure became so famous that kings, intellectuals, and common people alike would risk their lives to cross the dangerous ocean tides just to visit this holy site. Standing as a symbol of divine devotion, this area evolved over time into a great spiritual center. From a construction perspective, in the year 966 AD, King Richard I of Normandy sent approximately 30 monks to Saint-Michel. Their primary objective was to build a new Christian place of worship there. However, the task before these monks was by no means an easy one. Because the rocky mountain was very tall and stood nearly vertical like a tower, laying foundations there became extremely difficult. Since there was not enough space on the mountain to build a prayer hall approximately 100 meters long, they constructed massive platforms or scaffoldings in many places around the mountain to make it possible to stand on the rocky outcrop. These very platforms eventually turned into residential quarters for the pilgrims. After the construction was completed, a monastery was established there for the monks. Due to the generous donations of many benefactors, this monastery became known as the wealthiest monastery in a very short period. Beyond spirituality, it reached great heights in education as well. An intellectual named Robert de Torigny filled the monastery's library with rare manuscripts, earning it the name Town of Books. During the Middle Ages, a road named Grand Deux was constructed to reach the top of this mountain. Numerous commercial complexes emerged along that road to cater to the needs of the pilgrims. While they were originally residences for religious followers, today they provide shelter to tourists coming from all corners of the world. This road leads us directly to the Romanesque Abbey prayer hall, built in the 11th century. It is recognized as the oldest building in the entire Normandy region. According to Norman tradition, the harbor there was used exclusively for the naves of this prayer hall. The monastery, built at the same time as the church, was constructed in the lower section of the church. If we observe the ruins of the monastery today, the lifestyle of those ancient monks and the arrangements they made for pilgrims become clearly evident to us. The large hall and the rooms used for storing goods still stand as symbols of that era. In the year 1204 AD, this Romanesque monastery was severely damaged during various attacks. At that time, the French king Philip Augustus provided massive funds for the reconstruction of this building. The reconstruction was completed in 1228 AD using Gothic architectural methods. This new construction came to be known as La Merveille, the miracle. The towering spires reaching toward the sky reveal the architectural magnificence of this structure. It was the custom in those days for the abbot to welcome prominent guests as they moved from the rest areas to the guest rooms. When he led the guests from the monastery into the inner prayer hall, it felt to the pilgrims as if they were in a magical world somewhere between heaven and the sea. That beautiful 13th century hall remains a feast for the eyes, serving as a magnificent vantage point to view the beauty of the Atlantic Ocean. Looking at it historically, during the Hundred Years' War, 1337 to 1453, between England and France, this building served as a formidable military stronghold. Being located in the middle of the sea made it nearly impossible for enemies to capture. However, after the wars, its importance gradually declined over time. Following the French Revolution, it was a tragic development that this sacred monastery was converted into a prison. However, in 1873, the entire mountain was recognized as a great natural treasure and a national monument. Only after that did its true significance come back into the light. Due to storm waves in the Atlantic Ocean rising to a height of 14 meters, there used to be a high impact of flooding here. These floods caused many difficulties for the pilgrims. To prevent this, a causeway or embankment was built here in 1880. The construction of this embankment reduced the flood impact and allowed pilgrims to reach Mont Saint-Michel safely. The French government has made plans to build a massive bridge here in the future to further develop the tourism sector. Mont Saint-Michel is not just a building, it is a magnificent chapter in human history. Behind the construction of such a massive structure on a rocky mountain amidst the waves of the sea, defying nature, lies the labor of thousands of monks and workers. Throughout this construction process, which spanned decades, many challenges were encountered. Although the changing political conditions of Europe, wars, and shifts in kingship influenced this building, its spiritual weight never diminished. Today, millions of tourists from all over the world come to see this wonder. Standing proudly in the middle of the sea, this building continues to remind us that if our efforts are joined with divine inspiration, even the impossible becomes possible. This structure is like a jewel in the crown of European culture. The library at Mont Saint-Michel once flourished as a treasury of knowledge. Manuscripts collected by intellectuals like Robert de Torigny explain the educational methods of the Middle Ages to us even today. The monks did not limit themselves to prayer alone. They also made immense contributions to science, philosophy, and literature. This is why it was called the Town of Books. Throughout the centuries, many scholars were produced. Although much of the intellectual wealth disappeared due to the attacks of 1204 and the changes during the French Revolution, the remaining ruins and the reconstructed Gothic spires vividly show the past glory of this region to tourists. The old rooms where the monks once lived and the warehouses where they stored goods have now turned into museums that teach history. During the phenomenon of high and low tides in the sea, the appearance of Mont Saint-Michel changes completely. When the tides are high, it turns into an island. When the tides recede, it appears to merge with the mainland. This natural spectacle leaves tourists mesmerized. However, this natural process was also dangerous for travelers. As waves arrived suddenly, many pilgrims used to face great difficulties. That is why the embankment built in 1880 proved to be very helpful. Currently, this area has been recognized as a World Heritage Site, and modern technology is being used for its preservation. Arrangements are being made to allow tourists via bridge construction in a way that does not cause any harm to the environment. Mont Saint-Michel is not merely a tourist destination. It is a symbol of centuries of faith, architectural mastery, and human evolution. This place of worship, built in the middle of the ocean, has faced many ups and downs in the journey that began with Aubert's dream in 708 to the modern tourist center of today. The stories told by its walls and the sights revealed by that rocky mountain remain etched forever in the hearts of travelers. It is no exaggeration to say that there is no other structure in European history that compares to this. Appearing as if it exists between heaven and the sea, this